Engines on go. I've been like getting so much torque. I be feeling the ground shake lately. The shake beneath my feet with so much going on. I don't know what's going on. I feel like maybe it's hollowing out a little more, or like training to sit up in the ultimate position of like whatever, you know, and whatever is like catastrophic. It's a beautiful day to live alive, or a beautiful night to live alive, right? Welcome, folks, to the marvelous mind of me, Yeshua Josie Fuller. Yo, I'm just gonna give you like some good, honest opinions of mine. So when people pop in, if you ask me the question, I'll answer it. But in the meantime, let's talk about life. I'm not even gonna talk. Let's think about life. Where are we going? What are we doing? How are we actually planning to get there? Like, what's really up with this life we live? Like, and how come even though the light came on, you still can't see me? That's crazy. That's crazy. Burn like the sun, huh? Shine. Yeah, I just be like thinking about life, the scenarios, the situations based off choices. Like I'm in one right now. I'm in a situation. So yes, this live will have the title on it, what the title says, you know, ask me anything and I'll give you my honest opinion. But I want to ask you guys something. So I recently got into some misfortunate traffic ticket and failure to appear in court type of incident. And now I have to be the court tomorrow. Comment what would you do in the comments. Like I need y'all help on that one. Like of course I'm gonna call, but comment what would you actually do. If you're a lawyer and you got some legal advice, or especially if you're in Atlanta and you can actually be my stand-in attorney, please inbox me at Joshua Josie Fuller on Facebook, or at I am Josie Fuller, or find the email on my page because it's an email. I think it's like Ghost Five Money or some shit like that. You'll find it. But contact me, please, and you know, let me know my next steps from there. But back to the realness. Don't be afraid. Come one, come all of the people. You're asking a normal guy, not even normal. I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'm a black man from America who, technically I asked God for some amazing things and he delivered. The amazing things I asked him for was knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I tell you how he delivered. First, he took me through life from an observative point of view of life. My mind has been trained or tuned by the seasons of acknowledgement. Each day has been an awakening or a new level of acknowledgement. Like when people say there's nothing new under the sun, I beg to differ, that each day is a new horizon. You'll find something new in each day. Nothing's ever the same if you truly pay attention to even the smallest or simplest things. Everything goes through a change. And whether it's a cycle, more than likely there'll be new things within the cycle. New settings, new seasons, new eras, new times, new zones, new structures, new faces, new feelings, new emotions, new actions, new stories. Like, you ever wonder this? Like, it's 2025. Going back, you'd be like, damn, they turning up even more. And you're like, damn, how are they coming up with newer and new ways to turn up? Because you want to say, oh, this has been done before. Mm-mm. Only the situations, the actions are different. It's like having this very same conversation while skydiving. The action is different, but the conversation is still the same. You know? I know that was vague and intense, but it's straight to the point. It tells you that no matter how it occurred. And there is a sense like we could have been in a field one day having the very same conversation of what is life and how did we get here and what are we doing and where are we going. And, then, we pass through life and then we're reborn again. And now we're having that very same conversation. Just in a different time zone, different setting, literally. And do you realize, like, the time zones or variations of time zones? Like, we have a modern time zone due to a scale of how we tell time, and we try to play with that. But then we have the actual past tense of time and the future tense of time. It all exists within the fractions of time that we gauge our lives in that we cannot turn back or get back. Some people are like, why would you want the time back? Why wouldn't you? You don't understand that. Don't you wish you could cash in on your time and just get super time to sit back and chill and let it all soak without bothering or aging or things going wrong? Who wouldn't wish for that? Like not immortality, just time. Time to catch up without growing old or growing anything, you know? Who wouldn't want that? Like, I find myself each and every night and I try to wake up in the best spirit every morning, you know? And every time I find myself, I'm inside of God. I'm never outside of God. I'm always inside of God. Most people don't understand me when I say that because most people don't believe the same way or perceive it the same way. And most people don't look at me as if I'm an actual believer. They look at me like, yo,
And it's still raining.
yeah, yeah. It did not let up for nothing. That rain purified and ruined my day at the same time. You know, it's like you want to take you a stroll, you know, but you like, where you going? Moment. I love the red light, and then it's like amazing, and I get to see my smile again, and then it's only for a moment that you get to see yourself. You think it's all day, but then it's like it's over, and then it's dim, and then it's dark again. Y'all want to know the real color of the sky? Look up at nighttime, and that's the real color of the sky. As far as like you can see it through like the Earth's atmosphere. That's the true color of the sky. So whatever color that is, the darkest shade of non-black space is the color of the sky. What you see in the daytime is the sun playing tricks with the reflections of light within the particles that reside within the atmosphere. Ionospheres, all of the spheres that wrap around the earth to form the first firmament. You know, the atmosphere that we breathe within. Like it's low levels of oxygen up to like where the moon is. Like I'm not saying you can breathe on the moon. Maybe some of us, but for the most part, you're gonna need a special suit, like a spacesuit, to breathe on the moon. But I'm telling you, it's low levels of oxygen that go that far out. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like a mouse or some shit like that could breathe on the moon. I would not be surprised if it's like vermin type. No, no, I didn't. Wouldn't be surprised if it's like vermin type. Vermin type. I should check it. Well, what you about to check it? You about to check it? The mailbox. Okay. Cool. It's a message coming for y'all with time and moments. You know. existence, life. Me needing to quit tobacco, but him having a vice on me because the excuse of stress, and it is an excuse. And as age gets up, you start to be like, yo, I should have never started. You know, I really should have never started. Yo, ask them questions. Don't just pop in with it and not say nothing. Y'all be just coming in and coming out. Like, yo, we just gonna see what he talking about. He's sitting in the dark.
I don't know, it may be something.
That light ain't worth nothing. Nothing. I was talking about that light.
Oh, they were, bitches got one, but I want to stop where people need to be plugged up.
It's like things never go as perfect as you want it.
I gotta just took that other one on. That was,
And it rained. You know, like the forecast was saying it wasn't gonna rain. It's like, yo, it's not gonna rain. And deep in my mind, I'd be like, I still ask myself this. I'd be like, what make us think we can predict the weather to that level, to where we think we can outpredict God? Like, yeah, the weatherman saying it's not gonna rain, but it's looking like it's about to pour down on your forehead. And then you're like, yeah, the weatherman said it's not gonna rain, or the weather lady said it's not gonna rain, and the next thing you know, it just start pouring down. And you're like, damn, I should have used my own intuition. Stop listening to these distracted. But that's why I be thinking. I be like, yo, because I watch YouTube, but I'll Google the weather, you know. And then I don't. Most of the time, I find myself in these two scenarios.
it.
Word.
Right here.
That's
I'm
it.
in there. I guess
That's
I
it.
ain't gonna say
This is what I need. This is what I need. Yep. So you guys, I've been door dashing, you know, on a bike. It's been fun. I have no real complaints. I was talking shit a minute ago. I was like, yo, DoorDash on the bike is terrible and blah, 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 blah. But I was neglecting to acknowledge all of the health benefits of actually doing something like DoorDash on a bike. Because it demands, first of all, you got to carry a job where you can make a lot of money or it depends. It just depends. I think it literally depends on your area and how hard you actually decide to go. Because I feel like if you wake up in the morning, I know you feel like this is a lot, but check me out. It's a lot when you go to plants and you walk around the plant in a circle and you think you're not doing a lot until you check and find out you done made 30,000 steps within a day. So to me, you're going to work hard either way. So if you want to be like, I'm just going to ride the bike and see if it helps me stay in shape while, I ride a bike and do DoorDash and make some money. Because it's pointless to just ride a bike for no reason. And, yeah, I still sell my CD and hit the block and try to promote my company and let people know I got a whole website where I make merchandise and also I'm really working on that strategy. And because it's more than just, I do more than just make music. I'm a fashion designer. I design clothes. I run my website, I share it, I post, I go out and promote it, I try to book shows, let people and remind people I am an artist. I am trying to get shows. I also paint, gotten back into that. Most of my art is kind of like black art. I don't want to just be like, sound prejudiced or racist or something, but it's for some reason everything I paint is like black. I have to purposely paint something like European. Like I can't just, I gotta make a note to be like, let me paint a flower. Not saying a flower is European, but you know what I'm saying. Painting shit people like flowers and fruit bowls and, Christmas trees and doggies, things that are nostalgic to people. That they be like, oh, look, it's a cute picture of a doggy. It's a painting. Let me get that. Let me buy that painting of a tiger. Did you paint this panther picture? Oh my God. And then you find yourself being like a slave to your art. Because now you're like, I'm painting just for people. I ain't even painting for myself no more. I think what made some of the most controversial art or some of the most dopest art what it was is because those artists didn't paint for people. They painted for themselves. They painted to relieve stress, or they painted to express themselves. in so many different ways, but they never once was like, I'm painting to sell this shit. Like most of the time, I don't even think like that. I don't be like, yeah, I'm gonna sell this painting. I be hoping, but I don't be giving a fuck. I be like, yo, I need to do something to relieve this creative stress. You know, I gotta be hella creative. If I'm not creating something or doing something based on creation, like playing a video game sometimes or putting my mind in a grid, it's going straight all the way off into the darkest areas of existence. Like the point that well, I'm sitting here gauging everything God did, and I'm like, damn, God set us up for the kill, literally. Like, yo, I was watching Ip Man, number 4, the Bruce Lee one, and like Ip was fighting one of the other masters. He's just scene where he saves this little girl and shit from. He barely saved. I'm gonna be real. Ip kind of like I think he wanted to see if she could save herself, cause the little girl was a beast. I ain't gonna lie, she was fine, but it was just too many. It was too many. I mean, I think it's cause he had already seen Bruce Lee be a badass, and Bruce Lee was whipping ass and shit and doing the craziness. So I guess he was like, yeah, maybe this little girl just as bad as Bruce, but she was not. The little girl was not just as bad as Bruce Lee. It did not happen like that. You feel me? Instead, the little girl almost got her ass knocked off, or almost knocked off the other little girl in the process, or one of the little boys, because it was getting real. Then Master Ip stepped in, damn near hurt his arm up, but ends up fighting her dad the same day, like to prove his honor of who he is, that he's an actual badass. Nigga, you should have heard of me. I'm IP Man from China, nigga. I invented this shit, type shit. And basically bops Buddy's ass, you know what I'm saying? But an earthquake happens and it sits both of them down. Like they was both looking like, are you doing this? He's like, no. Are you doing this? And then it's like, oh shit. And you realize how fragile we really are and how much we really can't control. Hey, I'm just as timid as you. I would accept an earthquake to be a sign from God with how programmed I am these days. I'm programmed to believe, programmed to fear God. Most people, they don't want to get into it with me. They be like, keep the commandments in your heart. My name is Joshua. Nigga, you think I ain't read it? Meditating this every night and day. You know what I'm saying? You think I ain't thought I was Joshua at one point in my life to be like, yo, I gotta have been this guy. And then I understand when I'm reading it and I'm putting myself in that situation, yo, this man was in fear for his own life against God. He never once received the edict that Christ received. He received some warm, compassionate, be courageous and, be of courage and I'm with you everywhere you go. And I got this and you're not going to lose. But if they stand against you, you realize he never really did anything to piss off God because he seen what happened to Moses. Like, he seen all that shit. He was like, wow. Most people would be like, damn, I know. You got the woke black people like, damn, my brother, you lost. You telling these people stories about fictional characters, whatever, nigga. You wasn't there. I'm an observer, nigga. I remember shit like Babar. You don't know who Babar is? It's an elephant cartoon that used to come on back in the like 90s and early 80s and shit like that. But the whole reference of me saying I remember things like Babar is just me telling you I remember things like the great elephant, nigga. You need to figure out who the great sage is. And I'll tell you, you can start with the great elephant because that's a nickname for the great sage that walk with God. So, yeah. Anyway. hmm So, yeah, I don't realize that I asked you a question and it's going to fuck with you. I'm going to say there once was a great mountain. And in front of the mountain stood God, the great sage, and the devil. How will we move this mountain? We need to get to the other side, said the devil to God. The great sage, leave it to God. I think he has it all under control. I know he can do it. And God says, just have some faith. What do you think happened? Mm. See, if you like frugal minded and you really like sleep, you're not even gonna understand what I just asked you. You're gonna swear to God it's blasphemy. Like I repeat, it's a full moon. October, Libra season, approaching Scorpio season. It is what, October 7th or October 6th? Let me make sure. It's October 6th at this moment with the time of 8:04. I know some people they be so, oh, synchronicity, and I'll be like, but none of that shit matters. Because look, if time doesn't exist, why would synchronizing the time or synchronizing anything even be relevant? Mm. It's only relevant when your mind is so far wrapped into the concept of a matrix rather than the concept of life itself. I'm trying to tell you guys, we create matrices. We don't really live in one. So don't get your panties in a bunch. And when I say God is watching, I don't mean in the sense to where like there's no literal like, oh God is coming back to da 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 da. It's not like that. It's more like God resonates the actions of the people. And the actions of the world could kill us all. And that qualifies as an act of God as well as an act of judgment. Because, it's like failure to appear, results in consequences. Failure to act requires results in a consequence of failure to survive. You know, I'm gonna be honest. Most of these folks, you gotta understand some shit. Like, cause some of these folks are so far, they'll debate this shit and be like this and try to say, okay, I watched this one documentary. I'm gonna leave names out of it. We don't name drop over here like that. But I watched this one documentary of like, I guess this kid or AI where it was trying to prove Egypt existed before Samaria and that science got it all wrong, that, and basically try to disprove anything without stepping into the true territory of it. See, the thing is about Great Samaria and Göbekli Tepe, and even when it gets into the Bible, when you go into like some of this shit, you get into a lot of it, you gotta understand you're dealing with an intelligent people. People that were so intelligent that this all could have quite possibly been comic books and things to pass leisure time while they existed until they didn't anymore. And we keep asking these questions about where did they go or how did it happen. Well, when I tell you an evolutionary shift could happen overnight to where one day we wake up and we just on a whole nother level, that's where they went. The Neanderthals didn't die out. They didn't disappear. They bred in. Certain animals, they just changed and evolved. Some people would be like it died out. Nah, it followed the will of existence and the will of life and creation. The circle of life. Some real shit going on, but you're too afraid to really see the bigger picture. I just posted some shit about ask me anything and I'll tell you my honest opinion. And all of this is just my opinion. The understanding lies is in like the feeling that I can convey to you. If your hair on the back of your neck stand up when I start talking about certain situations, or if your stomach starts to curl, or if you feel a warm, tingly feeling, all of that matters. Adrenaline, hypoxia, like how everybody reacts different, but we all react the same. Like your energy can change the energy of an entire room. Realize that. Acknowledge that. Breathe that. You feel me? Breathe it. And realize you actually jacked up. But anyway, meager cash. How do you make more money than you made yesterday? If you're not already making money, how do you create income out of just, being yourself? Is it possible to get paid for being yourself? What is charisma levels anyway? Like if I was to like have a charisma level of like 9,000, could I be president? Is it even possible to have a charisma level of 9,000? His charisma level's 9,000. Kakarot. No. Look, man, it's been fun for that one peeker that keeps coming on and try to see if I went up. I didn't. But look, in case I do, when it does decide to go viral, I hope y'all remember me for, hey baby, you should know that you got me wrapped around your fingers. And lately you got me deeply gone over you, baby. I feel like I'm in the danger zone. Love, I'm lost on you, baby. What you do, girl? What you do? You run my mind crazy. hmm Got my heart fluttered, full of butterflies every day lately. This lady was like, I cannot believe that's you. It's like, me neither. I woke up one day and I was like, God, thank you for that. That's like the biggest joke you gonna ever tell on me. Cause now I'm like, yo, when you make music on that level and it sounds that good when you actually perform it and then you work on it and you bang on it and you like, yo, I just made a song that could ride with James Brown or ride with, Etta James, and at the same time ride in the same era as John Legend and Music Soul Child. Like I just made a song that's like diverse in its existence, and I'm like, damn, I ain't made it nowhere with it. Like I ain't got nowhere. Like I've accomplished nothing as far as I'm concerned. Like I haven't done a show for like 20,000, 30,000 people. I haven't went around the world because of this song. I haven't, unlocked my six dimensional level with the music. All I did was get closer to God with every word. And now every time I lose myself, I find myself, whether it's in a dark place or in the most lit place ever, through some music. And I find that like strange but wonderful. Either way, man, I love you guys. I just wanted to come live and rock with you for a sec. Short video type shit.